Well, that's pleasant. The sun's come out since I finished making the home ec video. That's nice, especially for geography. Some fluctuating weather patterns. Gotta love that. Now, for the geography, it's a bit of a shit subject to predict because it's like, what do I say to you? Study your entire course. There you go, lads. Job. It's a bit like that, but I have some kind of analysis done, so I may as well give you that. It'll be beneficial, especially, you know, the higher level option. That's where you'll benefit from this mainly, and I suppose a little bit in the economic or human sections, but such a terrible subject to try and do predictions for because they just mix topics, different topics within the one question. What can you do? Okay, here's what I got for you. For ordinary level first, in the short questions, here are the ones I most expect in order of likelihood. So number 1, to interpret a graph or chart. Number 2, aerial photo locations. Number 3, weather. Number 4, types of regions. Number 5, satellite photo analysis. Number 6, rocks. Number 7, the sea. Number 8, OS grid references. Number 9, volcanoes. And number 10, glaciation. They're some of the main ones I expect for the short questions. Now, in physical geography, you're going to get an OS map sketch. You're going to get landforms. Usually landforms of your choice. Personally, I go with rivers myself. And to describe that using diagrams. Number 3, the impact of humans on something. And you usually get choice in this as well. Either usually glaciation, the sea, rivers. Tectonics then is your next most likely topic, followed by earthquakes, followed by humans and rocks. So there we go. That's your physical geography section for ordinary level. Now on to regional. I have these color coded on this document, red for the more important ones and black for the lesser important ones. So I'll give you the red ones first, the most important ones. So number 1, EU impact on an Irish region. Agriculture in Ireland. Industry in the Indian subcontinent, well, in your subcontinental region or continental region. We've picked India. The sketch map of your subcontinental or continental region. Agriculture in your European region. Industry in the European region. And to interpret a graph or a chart. They're the main ones I've coloured in red. Also on the list we have to sketch Ireland and culture in Ireland. Or in the subcontinental topic, tourism or culture. And for your culture, also tourism on the OS map. So that's some that I expect in the regional section of geography. Now economic is next. So I'll list these topics in order of likelihood. To interpret a graph or chart, to draw a graph or chart. That goes without saying, that comes up in those sections. Next most likely topic is Ireland and the EU, followed by global warming. To sketch the aerial photograph. Developed economies. Multinational companies in general, as in not necessarily from an Irish point of view. Aerial photo, where you have to pick the location to build a factory or a supermarket or something, or justify why that location is crap or whatever it is. Developing economies, MNCs in Ireland, acid rain, local conflict and renewable energy sources. Now for the human geography, we don't do this section in our school, but probably some of you do, so here's some predictions for it. Firstly, the aerial photo sketch. Secondly, overpopulation. Then we have urban problems in developed countries. Population pyramids. Rural to urban migration. Urban problems in developed countries. Population in developing versus developed countries. Aging population to interpret or draw a graph or chart, and so on. It goes on like that. So there's your geography ordinary level. I'll probably link in photos of this document near the end of the video so that you can have a closer look at what's going on. Now, next one is your higher level geography. Everyone's favourite. Hey. So, for the short questions, here's what I expect in order of likelihood. Something to do with grid reference on the Ordnance Survey map. To interpret a chart or graph. Types of regions. Rocks. Physical features on the OS map. Glacial features. Core/mantle. Weather. Photo versus map, where you're comparing the two. Population pyramids, river landforms, satellite pictures, a general question on the OS map, earthquakes, weathering, tectonics, slopes and the sea. Now for physical geography, the OS map sketch, once again landforms will come up, and usually get a choice in whether it's river, the sea, glaciers, whatever. Then impact of humans on some kind of process, like again you usually have a choice here, rivers, the sea, so on. Rock types, the rock cycle, volcanoes, earthquakes, marine landforms, etc., limestone formation, and it goes on like that. So there are some of the topics for physical geography. Next is regional, and I will read out the most important ones first: Ireland, subcontinent, European, in that order. So the most important Irish topics that you might see on the paper this year are industry and Ireland's relationship with the EU. For your continental region or subcontinental region, to sketch it, or any kind of problems that are there or challenges they're facing. For European, urban growth is very likely, and also agriculture. It's also quite likely in that section you'll get to interpret a graph or chart. Now, some of the minor topics that could come up there for Ireland, there's culture, to sketch Ireland, and urban growth. For the continental region, tourism, agriculture and culture. And for the European region, tourism, culture and population. So there we go, that's in the regional geography. What to expect. Now, in economic, I'd say it's likely you'll get to draw a graph or chart or interpret a graph or chart. That's standard fare. Ireland and the EU is looking very likely, as is the aerial photo sketch. Environmental concerns is almost guaranteed. Economic activity in the town from the OS map. Multinational companies in general. Economic growth / development. Developing countries and globalization. Fossil fuel / non-renewable energy. Air pollution, or the ordnance survey, why did the town develop at its location? Now for human, once again you're going to get a question on interpreting a graphic chart or drawing a graphic chart, or possibly even both. There'll be OS settlement patterns, land use theory models, migration from an Irish point of view, land use and development, the town functions from the aerial photo. Also, aerial photo, why did the town develop at this location? The map versus the photo, where you do a comparison of the two. Population change, traffic congestion. Now, that's that bit. Now let's get to the juicy bit. Your long essay question, the option. Now, if you're doing the global interdependence option, your most likely stuff is as follows, in this order. Sustainable use of resources. Deforestation. Desertification. NGOs and the aid debate, global trading systems. For culture and identity, for that option, effectiveness of boundaries, religion and politics, expressing culture and identity, language, or race versus ethnicity. And now in the one we do, the atmosphere, ocean, environment option, that's the one we do in the XLc Project. The most likely one is climate change, followed by, it's a bit of a mouthful, the influence of mid-latitude depressions on cool temperate oceanic climate. Or possibly the interaction of the ocean and the atmosphere, which is a fancy way of saying the water cycle. Next one is global wind systems, and finally climate and economic development. And finally, the option that I think most schools do, the boring soil option. Why do you do this? It's so dull. So geoecology. Number 1, characteristics of a named biome. Number 2, impact of human activity on a biome. 3, composition / characteristics of a soil type. Number 4, soil erosion and humans. And finally, influence of climate on a biome. That is all. Good luck with your geography.